What's going on, everybody? Steve V here with another video. Hope everybody's doing well out there. So in today's video, I want to talk to you guys about the Atgames Legends Ultimate, my interest in the cabinet, some of the things that turned me off about the cabinet, and why I might be considering bringing it into the Mancave Arcade and selling quite a few of my arcade one-ups. We're going to talk about all that stuff right after this. So welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you guys checking out the video. So we're going to talk a little Atgames today, and that's something that I don't talk a lot about on my channel because I don't own any of the Atgames arcade products. I do have the Atari Flashback X, which is their mini Atari console, and I did own the Sega Flashback, the latest one that they came out with, which I believe was in 2017, if I'm not mistaken, maybe even 2018. And that thing was awesome, but I no longer own that because I sold it once I got the Sega Mini, because it did the exact same thing, but it took up less real estate. So just made sense to kind of own one of those, and I ended up selling the Atgames Sega Flashback, but I do still have the Atari Mini, and I like it. It kind of fits the need, and it kind of goes well with all the other mini consoles that I have. But as far as the ALU and the Atgames Pinball Machine, I don't own any of those. And it's not because I don't like them. I actually think they're great products, but I didn't really have a need for those products at the time because of the fact that I was kind of trying to do a little bit of an arcade recreation down here. I was fine having, you know, a pile of arcade one-ups because I was buying these cabinets based on nostalgia. You know, I was buying them because they looked fairly similar to the arcade cabinets that I remember back in the day. You know, they featured the look of some of the games that I love and want to kind of have featured in my Mancave Arcade. And, you know, for the most part, I was okay having, you know, 12, 13, 14 of these. But times have changed. And I've kind of gotten to the point where I'm trying to just kind of keep what I play and maybe a few that are kind of mainly based on nostalgia. Maybe I don't play them as often, but I have a connection to them still. I'm starting to kind of realize, you know, with having a pile of arcade one-up cabinets, you know, it brings a lot of problems. Number one, it takes up a pile of space. It wasn't a problem before, but it's kind of becoming a problem now. Number two, they break down after about 2 to 5 years. And with that being the case, you know, at first it wasn't much of a problem because I knew that if you got a hold of Arcade One-Up, you know, they would gladly send you a PCB or a replacement marquee or whatever. But now they're charging for all that stuff because they want to make a buck, and that's fine. They have every right to do that. But number two, you know, they're coming out with cabinets so quickly that some of these cabinets, when the PCBs start going and the marquees start going, they're not going to have those replacement parts for me because these cabinets are 2 to 3 to 4 years old. So that's something that makes me a little bit nervous because I like keeping my cabinets stock, and when they start breaking down, I don't really know what I'm going to do. So, you know, obviously people could say like, oh, just mod them and make them a multicade. I don't want to do that. That's not why I bought these. These were bought because, you know, the recreations of cabinets that I like, and they have, you know, 12 to 14 games that kind of, you know, fit the bill of that cabinet, you know, because, you know, you got your feature game like a Pac-Man or a Mortal Kombat 2, but then you have, you know, just Midway games on that Midway cabinet. You have just Namco games on that Namco cabinet. And I like that. I think that's kind of cool, and that's kind of what I wanted to stick with. But I'm realistic. I know these will break down in the coming years. So I realized that I probably want to sell most of these while they're still, you know, working and functioning, because obviously when they start breaking down, it's going to be hard to part with them. Nobody's really going to want them other tthan maybe to mod them, and they're going to want the cabinet basically dirt cheap after that. So I started thinking maybe it's more realistic for me to keep, you know, 5 or 6 arcade one-ups that I really have a connection to and that I want to feature, and that maybe I would be willing to try to fix somehow if they broke down, and then, you know, sell the rest of them and bring in a multi-cab. And that's where the Atgames Legends Ultimate kind of comes into the picture. Now, this is a cabinet that I've had some interest in for quite a while because of the fact that you can play multiple games. It comes with 300 games, and you can add as many games as you want after that. And that's very appealing to me. The two things that kind of went against it for me was, number one, the aesthetic. I'm not a fan of the look of this cabinet. I understand it's a multicade. It's not supposed to look like anything other than kind of a generic arcade cabinet that plays multiple games. And it definitely looks like that. But I feel like they could have tried to make it look a little bit more appealing, and they didn't. And that's literally based on opinion, right? There's somebody out there that could look at that thing and think it's beautiful, and they're not wrong. It's literally art, and art is based on opinion. One person might look at something and think it's beautiful. Another person might look at it and think it looks like shit. For me, I don't want to say it looks like shit, but it's in the middle for me. It doesn't really create any feeling for me other than the fact of like saying like, I wish it kind of looked a little bit better. So, you know, that kind of went against it. And then the second thing that went against it was the most important thing. Here in Canada, it cost $999. It does go on sale from time to time, but even when it goes on sale, it's like $899. That's a lot of money for an arcade cabinet. So that's something that's really kind of stopped me from pursuing that cabinet. But with me thinking about maybe parting with a bunch of arcade one-up cabinets, that would provide me recycled money where I could bring that cabinet in. So that's why this is a little more interesting to me now. And it's kind of something that is really a future-proof idea because of the fact that I already know I will have to sell a lot of these down the road to kind of provide room. And I don't want to lose a lot of the games that I love. So why not keep, you know, 5 or 6 arcade one-up cabinets and then just have the rest on a Legends Ultimate. So that's why I wanted to make this video. It's something that has really kind of appealed to me lately. And another reason why it kind of appealed to me is because you can basically play whatever games you want, and you know, you don't have to worry about, you know, I have to sell this one to get this cabinet to get this. No, you can play whatever games you want. But also, the cabinet just seems so well built. I haven't heard a lot of people complain about their screens giving out, their, you know, chips giving out, the sticks and buttons and trackball and spinners having issues. I haven't heard a lot of that. So to me, that's another appealing factor of this cabinet. It just seems to be future-proof as far as build and quality. So, you know, with the arcade one-ups, you don't really get that. And that's why, you know, I only kind of want to keep the ones where I'm willing to maybe invest some time into fixing them. But am I going to fix 13 cabinets? Hell no. Am I willing to fix 5 or 6 that I actually care about? Yes. And then having the Legends Ultimate basically play everything else. You know, how could you go wrong with that? I'm really excited to kind of maybe look more into this cabinet. I plan to go buy the brick because I do know that they have a demo model out right now as we speak. And I want to kind of try it out. I've tried it before at Buy Stuff Store and the brick in the past, but I wasn't thinking, you know, future-wise when I was playing it. I was thinking more about what I was doing in the here and now. And at that time, I was collecting arcade one-up cabinets and really trying to recreate an arcade experience. Where now I'm kind of thinking more home experience. What is going to work for my home as far as providing me, you know, the games that I enjoy playing? Yes, the look still matters, but if I have those main cabinets still here, kind of, you know, showing off the look, then I'm okay having something that's more for function, you know, somewhere else in the Mancave Arcade, maybe in a corner, where it's kind of featured on its own and kind of known as the cabinet that plays everything. And yeah, I understand that I could end up getting, you know, decal to kind of make it look the way I want. But I've kind of even accepted the look of it and realized that the function is so important and so much of a necessity to me right now that I can even get past the generic look. So it's definitely something that I'm really thinking about. I'm not so interested in the newer Atgames ALU and pinball machines that are coming out because they're going to be an arm and a leg here in Canada, over $1,000 each. I'm not willing to pay that much. The fact that I'm even going to fork out, you know, probably $1,000, after taxes for the ALU that's out now is insane, right? But again, if I'm using recycled money because I've sold, 4 to 5 arcade one-up cabinets, definitely softens the blow a lot. But again, I'm paying for a future-proof product, and that is very appealing to me. So that's what this video is about. It's about me basically being on the diving board, about to jump off, and jumping off means I'm basically going to buy the ALU. I haven't quite jumped off. I'm right at the edge of that diving board, but it's the closest I've ever been. So that's why I wanted to make this video, because there is a chance you could see it in my Mancave Arcade sometime in the future. Does that mean you guys will see it this year? I don't know. But it is something that is definitely appealing to me. I do have one of the cabinets that I'm kind of willing to part with already up for sale, because I really started thinking, if that cabinet breaks down, am I willing to fix it? And the answer was no. So that was something that I had to put up immediately. And I feel like I'm going to be going through that process this year until I kind of get to like maybe 6 cabinets or 7 cabinets. So we'll see what happens. So this video is kind of a little tidbit of what could come in the future for the Mancave Arcade, and how the Atgames Legends Ultimate could be the answer to basically allowing me to get everything I want game-wise, but still kind of have a situation where I can have, quite a few arcade one-ups to kind of show off, but then also a ton of real estate available in my basement, which right now is not the case. So we're going to see what happens. I'll keep you guys in the loop. Stay tuned. And I'm really excited to kind of look more into Atgames. I'm excited to really embrace this cabinet that I know so many people love. And, the fact that I have really been paying attention to other people's game rooms and seeing people part with things here and there. And the one thing that always seems to stay is that Atgames Legends Ultimate. So definitely something that I've been paying attention to, and something that's really kind of helped me kind of accept that, you know what, this might be the future and this might be what's needed in the Mancave Arcade. Take care, you guys. Thanks for watching the video. Have a great day.